Yes, we are back, and we hope you enjoyed that first episode of Noteworthy. My name is Amuna Yisrael. This is a new segment where we are doing our reaction videos, but we are reacting with a purpose. And so if you missed the first edition, go ahead and check it out. And at this point, we're understanding Kevin Samuels. Right now, he's making a splash all over social media, and everybody's talking about it, making videos and parodies and all that good stuff. But I want to understand the nature of the advice that we're giving. Right? And so I want to understand the nature of the advice. We have to understand the person. So in these earlier videos, he was a little bit more open and transparent about who he was and where he was coming from. And that's what we're going over today. And we're going to let him do some of the talking. So just to recap from yesterday, he told us that he came from a single parent household. 3 women were around him all the time, which was his mother and 2 aunts. The only man that was really in his life was his uncle, and his uncle was a Mac, not a pimp, because he didn't have women on the stroll. His words, not mine. But his father was a player, a Rolling Stone, who had over 13 children that he knows of. And his father, in his mind, was the blueprint of what not to be. Right? And the uncle was the blueprint, I guess, or the only model. You're going to model after what you see of what he should become. So you have women on the stroll, but you're not necessarily a player like your father. Oh, sorry, women not on the stroll. So we're going to pick up from there.
You know, stuff that I was taught as a young boy. You know, I was raised in a single parent household. My mom had 2 sisters. They didn't have any kids. So I had 3 women around me all the time. My grandfather, he was a truck driver, so he was around sometime. Then my uncle, he was the man in my life. So my grandfather was a deacon in the church, and my uncle was a Mac. A Mac is a dude that has lots of women, but he's not a pimp. He don't got any women on the stroll. Both got game. My father was a straight up player. Papa was a Rolling Stone. 13 of us I think. So I used him as the blueprint of everything not to be in a dude. My mom never talked bad about him, but needless to say, I didn't have the best opinion of the dude. Handsome dude. Me and my father are probably look more like than any of his other kids.
I have to stop. So that was the recap of what I just shared. You hear him saying it. And I said yesterday, even though he may not made him the blueprint of what not to be, he's still associating with he was a handsome dude. They have game. So you have to keep in mind, these are the things now that as a young man growing, you're going to put in your mind to say, this is, even though I don't like this is still cool. So it creates this dichotomous back and forth thought. But let's go.
Probably one of the reasons we have such issues we have. We're probably so much alike. So anyway, that being said,
so in his own admission, he's so much alike his father, but the way he just described his father wasn't in the best light. Keep that in mind as we keep going. So now he's going to go into one of his first impressionable experiences. I often talk about soul ties and those first experiences and how they can impress the soul and what we do with them. So let's listen to his first experience with a girl that he liked.
Then I was raised by a bunch of women. I was raised, Baptist. So I was pretty much raised to be a simp. I was a cute little boy. I was a spoiled kid. Even though we was broke, I was spoiled for broke. So as I started to grow up...
Wait, pause. So look at the things that are noteworthy. Cute, right? So just physical appearance. He said his family was handsome. He looks like his father, but he was a cute little boy. Spoiled. He doesn't say it in this video. I think he says it in the next where he's a single... that's the only child that the mother has. So he's the only child for his mother, and that creates a certain mentality in the mind of a person. So even though they were broke, he was spoiled. His words, not mine. So at no point throughout life did you grow out of this spoiled mentality, we're going to be getting advice from this perspective, this thought process. Also, that's noteworthy is that his mother, even though his father did not live up to any expectations, or even though his father was, he lacked in many areas, the mother never spoke out against him. And he also has this thought process now that to make you high value, you shouldn't correct or you shouldn't speak out. And he's getting this from somewhere. He's getting it from what he experienced as a child. So let's go.
Well, with all those women around you, you get raised with feminine ideals. You know, and this is a time in the 70s when you're hearing all this, I am woman, hear me roar, and I am strong, I will survive, and all this other kind of stuff. In the 70s, women taught their sons, be nice to women, respectful, all that other kind of stuff. Then they turned around and taught their daughters, go out and, get your education, get your degree, take care of yourself, don't rely on no men. So you end up with a whole generation of, soft men and hard women. So I get around, my first crush, that's another story for another time. But the first time I really liked the chick, I'm gonna just call her Car. I like this chick. And like most simps, when I liked the chick, I did the simp stuff. I immediately start paying a lot of attention to her, telling her all the stuff I like, fawning after, running behind her, young boy stuff. I was in like the 6th, 7th grade. Long and short of it, every chick that I ever liked, I automatically start simping for. Now, here's the thing. I have girls that liked me, but, I could, man up for them because I wasn't interested. But as soon as my feelings started getting involved, it was almost like I became a woman. So let me fast forward. What happened with Carr?
Okay, so he's telling us about his first crush, his first impression, and he says he equates connecting with, on a soul level, with someone, like this connection where you're vulnerable, he equates that to being a simp, right? And that paying attention to this woman, this young girl, a little girl, paying attention to her, he felt almost like a woman. So equating emotions to being a woman, right? So only women have emotions. And paying attention to the person and being vulnerable, that is being equated to being a simp. Okay?
Carr ended up, she was my girlfriend, check the box, and you'd be like, yes and no. We're like in 8th grade by this time. And like most simps,
8th grade.
She got tired of me like that. So she broke up, broke my little heart, shattered me, destroyed me. No men around, didn't know what to do. No one really talked to. Somebody talked about this stuff in the 80s.
I think that's important because as we're children and we don't have the adult guidance, there's no real men around, and the ones who were around showed him something else, which is not get your heart involved, stick and move. Now he has to use the limited information he has in his 8th grade mind to try to navigate around this pain that he's feeling. So we have pain involved, we have feelings involved, and we have lack of guidance involved. And that's formulating the thought process that we're now experiencing as his advice. But let's continue.
So luckily, testosterone kicked in. And then this chick I was calling left and right. This is back when you call people and you get a busy signal.
Mr.
The stuff we used to have to
man.
do on the phone. You get the busy signal, call back. There was no caller ID. Man, it was crazy. So anyway, after my testosterone kicked in, I got pissed off at this chick. I got to a point where I got over her. Well, I ran into her the next year in 10th grade.
Okay, wait. Let me pause. I know I'm reiterating. Some people be like, okay, this is a response show. So if you want to hear the video straight through, you can hit his channel. But this is a response show. So he had no human guidance, no understanding, and felt overwhelmed by feminine energy. He was open to and got hurt by this woman, right? Hurt is always somewhere, and that's why I say soul healing, Solonomics. He's hurt, and he's attributing his ability to get beyond her to testosterone, to biology. Biology is what helped him turn from a simp until this alpha type of male who's now going to tap into this pimp energy that is already around him in the few males that are there to help him no longer feel that pain. And he got pissed off, meaning now you went from being hurt to being angry. So we have to put anger down, right? We got to write this stuff down. We have to put anger, because anger replaced that brokenness and that hurtness that he experienced in his 8th grade. How old are we in 8th grade? 13? 14 years old? Thereabouts. So anger replaced the hurt. Okay? We talk about that a lot on this channel, but let's continue.
She remembered the simp version of me. I grew 9 inches over the summer. So I went from being 5 feet tall, roughly in 8th grade, to 5'9" in 3 months. 9 inches over the summer. Incredible. So all of a sudden, I'm Big Willy. So all of a sudden, these chicks that
So what makes him Big Willy is not his intellect, it's physique, his physical appearance. Like, boys shoot up during this time. So he becomes Big Willy because he's cute and he may look like his father and he's handsome. So it's all about the surface level physical. We're little children in 8th, 9th grade, but it's okay. We rocking with the story because this is where a lot of us are stuck, right? So now he's Big Willy. And the testosterone is on high, and then?
I used to like who I simped out for. All of a sudden, she was throwing herself at me. But I didn't care no more. So she called me, and I wouldn't answer the phone, or I'd talk to her, and I'd just blow her off. I learned something right here. This is almost like a laboratory experiment, because I'm a strategic-minded person, technical-minded person. I start putting this stuff through scientific process. If nice got me bad behavior, bad seemed to get me good behavior. So I started being more bad.
If nice got me bad behavior, bad seemed to get me good behavior. So I started being more bad. We're going to pause. We're not going to keep going because I don't want the videos to get too long. It's very important to look at the foundation of a thought process, an ideology, a philosophy, because when you start to build up, if you don't know what's at the foundation, you'll be like, yeah, we should put a window here. Next thing you know, your building is uninhabitable. So in the basis of his ideology, there's a level of abandonment there. There's a level of dichotomous thought, because you are associating with the father who left you, right? But at the same time, your mother didn't necessarily hold him accountable. She overcompensated, because how possibly did you become spoiled? So this thought process that the female needs to overcompensate, even though I underdeliver as a male. Do we see any of this in the current teachings? And that nice got me hurt, and no one likes being hurt, right? Male or female. So if nice got me hurt, when I get angry, when I put that energy there, it gives me a level of distance from the person who can hurt me, and then I can go about. I don't want to preempt myself because I'm gonna stop it right here. So I don't want to say what he go about. So it's physicality. Are you a high value man? How much do you possess? How you can't grow any taller, so it has to be how much is in your bank account. And then if I behave badly, then I get the behavior that I want from you. You get to pursue me. You get to chase me as the male, right? And so we're seeing, he said, it's here that he did his scientific experiment with the 8th grade girl to begin to think that this is the way. So I'm going to discard my mother's advice because that's not working for me. That's not getting what I want. And what do you want? You want to be accepted from the opposite sex. You want to be validated by the opposite sex. That's why in the beginning of this show, he said he's going to talk to them about how to get women. So to be able to progress with women, this is now the baseline for how he's going to go and continue in his life. So thank everybody for tuning in. That's my thoughts right there. I'm going to pause it right here, and then we're going to come back and hear more about his first love. And I'm not sure if he said car. Let me know in the description below. Did he call her car? Because if he called her car, at first I was like, car? Wouldn't that really be objectifying her? Like, is that even a real name? And so to a certain level, to be able to manipulate the opposite sex, you have to objectify them a certain way. You have to distance yourself. You have to take a level of humanity away from the person in order for you to manipulate and objectify them. So please keep that in mind as we continue to watch. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share the video, and all that lovely stuff. And we'll be back. 1.